There's something that you've seen that you cannot unsee. The more I tune into your field, the more I see the High Priestess being activated, and I'm seeing it be seated by the Hierophant, which is also that High Priest archetype. So what they both understand is that reality is not static. Instead, it's vibrating. Everything is existing in quantum superposition, meaning that this world is far more malleable than what society was taught to believe. And you've come back to this ancient, I'm hearing knowing, but it's a remembrance. Now, the other message that was coming through is that reality is not static, right? But instead it's this continuous summation of infinite quantum paths encoded into our field as a wave of probability. And I'm seeing you're weighing out probabilities, but then you're also determining the cost and value of that. And that could be about investment as far as energy goes, as far as thought and emotion. I'm hearing that creates a bioelectrical charge of momentum, this velocity that, okay, so it's some type of action that you're taking in the present moment that's essentially sending ripples through space and time that you're soon to catch up with. And I'm seeing this as actions that you had taken even in past lives, in parallel lives, right? So this could be action when it comes to mastering an ability, a gift, a skill that was sending ripples through space and time. And as the soul incarnates into another carbon-based life form, right, into another alpha third dimensional vessel, this avatar, you are now, it's like what's it called, I'm seeing it as almost like a G-force energy. I don't know if that would be the right way to describe it, where there's all this momentum, but then there's this sudden halt as that reintegrates in this lifetime. Does that make sense? It's like something that you had developed, some kind of skill that you have acquired, that you've mastered in a previous lifetime, and then it meets you with this lifetime. It feels like a well-lined collision, but with knowledge that you had already left for yourself to return to within this world, right? I'm seeing it as somebody kind of collecting codes around the grid. This reading is taking a complete different turn than what I thought it would. Okay, but it's so intricately designed. But yeah, something deeper is clicking, and it's this unified lens. And it's the fact that this path that you're walking right now is not just being experienced through a subjective lens, but through a unified lens. And when I say that, you are the path itself, experiencing itself being walked upon, because the High Priestess doesn't say anything. She speaks in symbols and not words. She speaks in sensations and intuitive knowings. She doesn't even try to explain the things that she knows, because she would never even try to contain the infinite into the human language itself. So instead she says less than necessary, knowing that when she goes nowhere, she returns to everything, everywhere, all at once. When she stops trying so hard to understand with the logical mind, she comes back into coherence and remembrance. That as she walks the path, there's this omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresent nature that's experiencing itself through a subjective lens, right? This is the person that knows every step they take is consciousness interacting with itself. You are the opportunity on the path. You are the person on the path. And you are the obstacle as well. It's all invitations from the one that's interacting with itself through infinite existences. And that's the message that I get. It's like the universe is one single being. And there is this knowing that you have of that all and nothing, of the form and the formlessness, of the observed and the observer. And it's not that you're moving towards a pre-built reality, but it's about the reality that you are playing with in this malleable form. And reality is arising from you, from that perception, right? Reality is not something that's happening to you, but it's coming from you. And the path is not ahead of you, but it literally is you unfolding. So, with that being said, I'm going to read a little bit more on this. I mean, I could keep going on this just in general with quantum superposition, but I do want to just have a bit of fun with this reading, because it does feel so malleable. It does feel more less in here and more in here. So, I'm hearing, why would we try to compress the infinite into the human language? Anyway, so in this deck, she's known as the Swan, okay? And that is the High Priestess. She has this fruit of the underworld, which is the pomegranate, and it represents rebirth. Now, I also saw the Hierophant in my mind's eye. So I pulled the card out, and in this deck, it also represents the phoenix, right? So the phoenix experiences the illusion of separation. So it is both the ashes and the phoenix that rises from it simultaneously. But in the third dimension, we get to experience the illusion of separation. We get to experience the journey through time, which is consciousness traveling into a new event. We experience ourselves as the phoenix just so that we understand what rising from them can be. Otherwise, we wouldn't have anything to compare it to. So that's what I'm seeing for you. There is somewhere new that you're being called to embark on. The High Priestess is very much your future self. It's our octave of you seated at a higher level of understanding. There's this intercommunication that is slowly shifting the way that you see yourself, your place in this world, on this planet, and the things in which you're discovering here, the things in which you would rediscover here. That's what I'm seeing. So I am going to do a reading on this now. Shall I read to you this card real quick so you can understand the depiction of the High Priestess? So this one is somebody that moves gracefully through this existence. They live according to that divine innate essence, right? That divine knowing. And in this deck, it talks about the swan floats effortlessly across the glassy waters, scattering droplets in the elegant patterns. She is at peace with her existence and understands that which is buried deep in the mind. She's your guardian for all important magical transitions and reconnections. So it's a magical transition that you're moving through. It's a magical reconnection. You might want to watch the Pisces retrograde video that I just did, because High Priestess Swan energy is very much the vibe, especially for the next 3 weeks. But yeah, with grace and warmth, she unlocks your unconscious and reunites it with your conscious. As she drifts to the melody of the universe, everything comes swirling back to you in a brilliant flash, which is you are everything and everything is you. The universe is one single being. So you feel more connected to yourself more than ever. So this is something that you're doing, right? It's a protective presence that cascades down your life. And if you have a decision to make, take it as affirmation that what you feel in your mind is what your heart needs too. There could be mental clarity that will be coming towards you as you take a plunge into something new, okay? Now, I feel like there's something that you're contemplating taking that plunge into right now. Let me go ahead and read the Hierophant for you. So the Hierophant is the next card, and it talks about spirituality and oneness. You notice a fiery streak zipping across the space beyond you. You call upon the phoenix, and it soars in the sky like a delicate explosion. The parade of colors streaming from the tail of the phoenix contains traces of all the goodness you have engendered in your life. Wow. The message that I was getting is, I don't know if you've seen the meteor that was found. It had landed somewhere, and from what I heard, when they DNA tested the meteor, they actually found human DNA on it. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. With these memories guiding the giant bird, it dances in the sky in true freedom, celebrating your new awakening. So awakening is remembering, right? Because when you awaken, it's not that you're changing who you are, it's just that you're discarding all it is whom you are not, so that you can return to what it is that you have always been. Okay, so there's a lot that you may be unlearning. And in the beauty of the moment, void of all inhibitions, you realize that you were finally free to. If the phoenix appears, it's time for a celebration, as you're approaching a new awakening and an internal holiness with the self. There is a magic bubbling inside of you that only needs your complete oneness in order to soar. Do not become too rigid in your expectations. There is an undeniable natural changeability that will happen within the self. Allowing patience and room for the spiritual awakening to take place will lead you to soar to greater heights. So there is something that you are kind of surrendering to, and it feels, I'm hearing like a culmination point that you've reached, and a culmination is the star's brightest point in the sky, but that only happens amongst the contrast, right, upon the darkest nights. Let me see what you're experiencing. Let's get a card for the High Priest and High Priestess. Ace of Birds. Ace of Birds is Ace of Swords, and you also have the another ace at the base, which is an Ace of Trees. So there is clarity in regards to the seeds in which you're planting right now and what that will manifest into in the physical. Okay, so you can see with both, there is something that is to be revealed. Okay, so they remove the snow on the Ace of Birds and they find a sword of clarity, seeing things crystal clear. There is a door that appears that the seed grows into, right? And that is usually an opportunity. It could be a career opportunity, it could be a financial opportunity for you guys, but there is a slate that's being wiped clean and something that grows very, I'm hearing sporadically, kind of unpredictably. Okay, it feels like rapid growth that happens within the mind itself, like rapid like collection, rapid coming back to. And it just feels like because you're picking up where you left off. That's what it feels like. It's like you're picking up where you left off. You get to express your gifts this time and differently. Okay, let's go ahead and get a, sure, let's take a look at the theme first with the Shaman's Dream Oracle message, and then the archetype view. Witch's Transpersonal, very High Priestess energy. The Witch's Transpersonal is literally a card of saying that it's time to come back into becoming the observer, to watch, to fly above and to witness and watch the human comedy unfolding on the ground below you as you're also immersed in the experience. So it's understanding that you are experiencing yourself walking on the path, but from a higher perspective, you also recognize the path as you and everything on it as an extension of Source itself, playing within its own unified field of creation. So you're very aware of this. Like, this is very much Law 1 energy. Very much Law 1 energy. And it talks about sitting back and becoming a sacred witness to the events that will unfold before you. Let's take a look at the archetype with my Magic of the Gathering card, Unlocking Your Power. So there's something that you're unlocking, and it's so funny because it's coming through the Art of Surrender itself. Unlocking Power is a very, very beautiful card, especially with this. There is power in just becoming a sacred witness. There is a power in knowing that as you surrender control, I'm hearing it's a paradox, because as you surrender power, you understand how powerful you truly are. Let me read it for you. Unlocking power is seek out your inner dragons and overcome them. When we overcome something seemingly impossible, it ends a myth that we have held in our own minds. We have broken the bars of a prison of belief and we're now free from its limitations. This unlocks our power, okay? Woof! My gosh. Again, a tower moment. A tower moment indeed. If life knocks you down, don't be hard on yourself. Get back up and apply what it is that you have learned. Yeah, this feels internal. And it feels like an internal observation where, okay, there are certain belief systems that you could have adopted within this lifetime as you've moved through this matrix, and that has basically polluted the runways of life force being able to flow through you freely and create from that place of just creating for creation's sake, because you are infinite potential and infinite potential can flow through you and into everything that you do. But the belief systems end up becoming these blockages, right? You can think about it as like a traffic jam across a highway, or, you know, crashed cars or collisions that have taken place, and it disrupts that flow. You can think about it as you switch on the tap, okay, and you're expecting water to come out, and it comes out very sporadically, okay? It's like your life force becomes very scattered, and you cannot really create in this realm as fluidly as you'd be able to, because there is a blockage within the pipes, right? There's a blockage within the sinks. I'm also seeing it as the meridian lines within the body, okay? So I'm seeing that being cleared. These are also ancestral blockages that you've been alchemizing, which is changing your relationship to the thoughts that may be surfacing within the body, and understanding that they do not originate from you. They also originate from past life wounds. They originate from the lineage. And as you dissolve those blockages, you're then able to access more of that fluidity. You're able to access more gifts from the lineage, everything that has been suppressed and has not been able to pass through that thought form that has been reinforced generationally. You know, it's like you have entered into your lineage and you have taken on everything in which they could not carry, and you're finally dissolving and putting down what they never felt safe to. And as you do that, you're accessing, I'm hearing bandwidths that haven't been accessed before, that have been waiting to be expressed. And there was also another message that was coming through with that around the lineage. But yeah, it's that as in a nutshell, okay? I'm trying not to overcomplicate it. It's the full expression of DNA. It's the expansion of DNA. So your creator ability has become greater than your fear. It's like you're creating from an expanded place and not a contracted place. There's a difference when it comes to creating from survival and creating from a place knowing that this world was designed for you to thrive in, and understanding that fundamentally as a subconscious core belief system. Because these are thought forms that have crystallized into your field, because they've crystallized within your own internal meridians. And that's being energetically projected into the hologram that you see as your field, that you see in your reality, that you see as being an external blockage. The blockage is also a culmination point that can now be dissolved. And I'm seeing it as a supernova card. Let me go and find the supernova in my Cosmos Oracle message. So supernova talks about something that can be seen with the naked eye, and it sends ripples through the cosmos. So there's something in which you're liberating the lineage from, saying that it's safe to use these gifts now. Okay, it's safe to do this thing. And think about it. If there's been so much momentum that's been created, and you can think about it as almost like a wave, but the wave is very dense. Okay, it's not a normal wave that's fluid. Instead, it's like this wave of mud. Okay, it's like this wave of mud, 500 generations before you. So it's very slow, it's very dense, it's vibrating at a very slow oscillation, because the quality of those thoughts, the quality of that electrical charge is from thoughts of shame, insecurity, fear. Okay, so those are self-organized, and you are now alchemizing that wave to return to its fluid-like state, and the water subsides, and that brings forth, I'm hearing an amplified field. It honestly feels like everything's going to come online for you very, very quickly. Because when you first remove the blockage from the pipe and the tap is on, it just comes out like it just, you know, that's what I'm seeing for you. That's how it's going to feel. So it feels like a regulation, like you're going to be regulating this. The star finally gets to go supernova. Let me go ahead and find the supernova card and read it for you. I mean, I can read it for you, but I want to show you first because I'm seeing this. Supernova. Let me go ahead and read it, and then I'm going to pull a card side by side for it so you can see what I'm seeing. Because the culmination point is the star's brightest point in the sky. Birth and death, new stars. Can we talk about life without death and vice versa? Cycles of death and birth run through our entire existence. At times, it's easy to detect when something is coming to an end based on the way in which a sequence of events unfolds. However, sometimes events can happen in an unexpected and sudden way, leading directly to the death of an old, which is immediately followed by the birth of something new. How can we predict something like this will happen? Well, it's unpredictable. Describing the birth of a new love, can be as if it were not a lightning bolt that splits your bones and leaves you staked out in the middle of a courtyard. The birth of a new star through a powerful stellar explosion. So this is the birth of a new star, okay? That immediately comes from the death of an old one. It's the largest explosion that takes place in space and can be seen with the naked eye. They can become so bright that they eclipse their own galaxies. Similar to the Big Bang, it's important to note that they are born from a large explosion and also mark the end of a massive star. And the portal is 999, which is all about a release portal. And that card also talks about the immediate new beginning that happens. It's like an old time ends. It feels like it ends with you. That's what this is. Like generationally, this ends with you. We have antimatter 3333 and geomagnetic storm. So again, geomagnetic storm is the way that you're impacting the earth. You're also pulling forward, again, your generational lineage, just one body of consciousness. It's something that sends ripples through space and time. 3333 is a gratitude portal. So there's something in which you're finally releasing with the storm that brings gratitude from the lineage. And antimatter is something that is not yet concrete, something that is intangible and something that is taking form. But energy is about energy being transformed, okay? Energy that's being transformed when it comes to antimatter. Antimatter reflects the opposite of manifestation in the three-dimensional plane. It's a lack of concretion in a particular event. It's a contact between antimatter and matter creates transformation. Like two mystical lovers, when matter and antimatter come together, they cancel each other out and generate energy. Therefore, equilibrium is an excellent alchemical ally for touching your dreams with your hands. The lack of concretion requires now delving into the tangible. So again, this was something that was manifested and created behind the scenes first, especially in, like, you are your ancestors, you are the regenerative life force that is experiencing itself through multiple avatars, through multiple carbon-based life forms. And I'm seeing that for you, something that you had mastered and had not yet delved into tangible ways of exercising your gifts, of practicing your gifts, and actually utilizing that and integrating that into a part of your everyday lived experience, and doing that unapologetically, okay? Again, unlocking your power, which is quieting the mind, witnessing and watching the internal almost like conflict that can happen. But this is a life is too short to spend another day at war with yourself. That's what this feels like. It literally feels like this is a stepping into your power, owning your gifts as a part of your innate expression and no longer suppressing that. That's very much what this message is. Let's go ahead and get one Gateway of the Light activation deck, and then I'm going to love and leave you right there, just because I want this to be a quicker read. We have Sword of Light. So literally what we spoke about, right? Divine protection, cutting the cords, and breakthrough energy. This card speaks to thought forms quite literally, okay? In a very literal sense. So again, this is what's in the field. The Sword of Light is the main energetic tool of Archangel Michael, the Prince of Heaven. He who is like God. It talks about this powerful energy, and when this card comes to you, know that it's confirmation that you're walking the path of light and responding to reincarnation soul contracts to make a difference on the planet. It's also a sign that you have the opportunity to sever connections or fears or limitations. Energetic cords bind us to situations, loved ones, and even the past. But you are in a transition now and detaching from unnecessary connections, dramas, or fears. That's basically what's happening. The fear of owning whom it is that you've always been and not compartmentalizing this side of yourself. It feels like almost coming out of the spiritual closet in many ways. Know that there will be a great severing at this time, and you may feel isolated for a moment, but you will be reconfiguring your circle of trust and moving into a life that's in greater alignment with your highest good. Know that the cords that bind you to loved ones, soul families, will remain intact. It's only lower vibrational connections that are being severed. Expect breakthroughs and doors of opportunity to open for you. If you feel strongly connected to Archangel Michael, know that his energy is with you right now. So again, there is this interconnectedness where you recognize that the obstacle is you. It always has been you. The gift is you. It always has been you. And no one is really getting in your way. It's you working with yourself through infinite countless life forms. It's all a mirror. It always has been. You know, I'm seeing the meme of like, it was all fractals. Yeah, it always has been fractals. You're meeting yourself over again and again and again and again, through the person, through the table, through the card. Don't you see it? So, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. And yeah, also check out Ulta if you're looking for some high quality AAA graded jewelry. $1 of the proceeds are donated towards Ulta sanctuaries. We have 2 discount codes for that in the description box down below. And until next time, bye.